get it twisted. This rap shit is mine, motherfuckers. Fucking game.
Alright, Facebook, the verdict is in. It seems like that everyone unanimous, man, that's a fucking hard word. It's unanimous that I'm hilarious, just not quite an elegant speaker. So I'm going to put together a couple of these podcasts and do some funny stuff. I'll talk about current stuff and, old stuff, and then throw in some of my own personal stories of humiliation, I should say, that you guys will all find to be hilarious. So, alright, so where does one start? First off, let me just say that I would have done a YouTube thing, but, I have a face for radio. So it was easier for me to have my deep, pulsating voice than my fat curvature face for all of my friends to see. But it's all good. So anyways, I want to first talk about some different things. I'm looking for a new car. I had a truck. It was an upgrade from what I used to have. I used to have a Pontiac Sunfire. It was a 1997. Very red, very girly, very not a man's car, Sunfire. And I think the thing that I liked the most about this was that when the car was given to me from my parents, who are hillbillies, by the way, they thought they were handing me the keys to like a brand new Trans Am or fucking a Mustang GT. They were so excited that their bub was finally going to have a sports car. They were just unaware of the fact that that was a girl's car. So that was difficult, because most times when you get a new car, the first thing that you want to do is obviously call all your friends and tell them. However, when I got the car, all I wanted to do was catch the bus to wherever I needed to go, because I knew that once everyone knew that I was driving a Sunfire, it was over. And the thing about it is, even the door had Sunfire written on it in like this very girly cursive, I would say. I'm pretty sure that the I in fire had like a smiley face circle dotted over the I. So it was just a truly embarrassing vehicle to be driving around in. Not to mention, I wasn't as big then as I am now, but it's still pretty humiliating to see a large man file out of a Sunfire. I mean, there's nothing tough about that. I remember one time a friend of mine and I were in the car and we're driving, and this car's like tailgating us or following us or whatever. And so when we got around him, we're like, fuck this guy, you know what I mean? Let's fucking run him down and show him what for, And now this guy's probably like, man, these must be some bad motherfuckers in this car, because they are chasing me down in a Sunfire. I mean, this thing was like 2.1 liters of pure not muscle, pure vaginal-rific terror, So when we chase this guy down, we get there, and then all of a sudden, you know what I mean, we two grown men fall out of this car, and this guy probably thought it was funny. It was like watching a circus where clowns come filing out of a small car. It was embarrassing, and it didn't get much better, because as I got older, I was like, you know what? How can I make this like a manly car? What can I do to make this a car that a man would drive? So, okay, let me put a system in it. So I go to TAS Electronics, and I put in like this $1,000 system. Now, actually, here's what happened. Somebody broke into my car and stole my Walmart CD player, and I knew someone who worked at TAS wrote me up an estimate, and Bob's your uncle, I have a system in my car. That Saturday, I literally spent like 8 hours at TAS, like so excited, you know what I mean, to like have some boom boom and all that. That, I went over to Circuit City to grab some CDs. I had to find something that was going to have some bass in it. So I got like a 2 Live Crew CD and like another rap CD. And then I also got like the Oh Brother Where Art Thou CD, just because, that was a great CD. I mean, it won an Oscar. Jesus, read the papers. God. But anyways, so like, the car's done. I can't wait, and I put my CDs in. I mean, this thing's boom, 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 boom. Like the mirror's falling off, and, I can't hear myself think, you know what I mean? My thoughts are escaping me. I pull right onto Airport Highway, my window's down. I mean, this thing is just bumping real nice. And this car next to me, like, looks over at me at this red light, and he's like, hey, man, that's a hell of a system, dude. That thing really pounds. And I was like, yeah, man, with a big old smile on my face. And then his light turned green. He said, but that's still a girl's car. And then he drove off, and that was well played on his part. And at that point, I knew that, maybe I should just put in the Oh Brother Where Art Thou CD and give this whole bumping thing a rest, you know. And it was funny because, you know, when I moved out to Delta, or, you know, I lived out in Delta at the time, and when I would drive around town, I got pulled over one time because that wasn't their music that I should be playing or whatever, so they tried to give me a noise ordinance. And one of the cops was like, you know, that's a Sunfire, man. Just be aware, you know what I mean? Be aware of your surroundings when you're in your Pontiac Sunfire blasting your music, you know, have a great day. He didn't write me a ticket, probably because he felt so bad for me, you know, that I should have been ashamed, but, you know, you live, you learn. The cool thing about that car, though, was, I mean, it got like 1,000 miles to the gallon, you know, so when gas prices started getting out of control, I think back and was like, Jesus, I wish I had the Pontiac Sunfire, you know. And it's funny because I ended up working at a tanning and hair salon as I got older, and the best part about that was I already fit in because my car was obviously the same kind of car that they all had. You know, they all had Sunfires and Spirits and Sea Breezes and, you know, different cars like that. So when I pulled in the parking lot, I mean, my car felt at home. You know, it was amongst its peers. So, but I'll never forget, like, the one fun time that I got pulled over in my Sunfire. This is like after my car got broken into. Like all the wiring and things were hanging out through the CD case. And I know I posted this on Facebook, but so I'm driving down County Road E. I mean, it's a summer day, the window's down, and like I'm just living the dream. And I'm singing. And I'll be honest, I probably wasn't singing a song that was ever written. I think I was like singing my own kind of music, which just makes this even worse. But I was speeding, and, you know, speeding in a Sunfire, I mean, I would have rather been caught on a moped, you know. So I'm speeding, and this cop passes me. He pulls in the driveway, turns around, stops, he pulls me over, gets in behind me, you know, and he walks up to the car. You know, he's like, you know, do you know how fast you were going? I said, no, you know, I just live right up the street. I started singing, officer, and I got to be honest with you, I stopped focusing on, like, how fast I was going. He peeked his head in the car and saw the wires hanging out of where the CD player was, and he just looked at me with this very confused, very concerned look and asked me, how much farther do you have to go? I was like, just not even a half a mile. He's like, can you just promise me that you'll please get there fast and safe? It wasn't until like I pulled in the driveway that I realized, oh man, this fucking cop thinks I'm stupid. This cop thinks I'm crazy because I admit to this guy that I'm singing with no music, you know. So that was awesome at that point because I mean I got out a ticket, so it was either that or showing my tits, and you know that I didn't have to go that far, so it was great. So that's my first kind of crazy story about my Sunfire, you know. And after I got rid of that car as I was getting like into getting my own vehicles, all I could think about was like, I want the biggest, most devastating vehicle ever with like a fucking train whistle on it, you know, just something very masculine, you know, because throughout the entirety of my life I have not been provided very masculine opportunities, and I'll get further into that in just a moment.